and we asked him 3 times. And so basically he banned me because of my political views, because I would share with people, you know, and there's quite a few in the military that want to go back to that.
Well,
they just can't,
you know, the Air Force,
they're afraid.
The Air Force is CIA Central. I mean, you know that, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've been awake since 2009. I've already listened to all the interviews from your show with Drake, and then the one that he did with Mr. Wilcox. So I've listened to it, and I shared with 2 of my friends that work at the base. My friend that I worked with at the base, he's retired. He was in Vietnam. He was a sniper in the Air Force. And what Drake said about shooting on villages, innocent people, my friend said that was true, and that they were willing to shoot the commanders if they had to. He said that was absolutely, positively true. And my friend was in the underground, so he understands everything that Drake's saying. It is true. There's so many people in the underground. They're just waiting for the right time to implement, like what he's been saying. You just can't go out there and do it.
That's suicide.
In one day.
Right.
That would be suicide.
Barry, I hope that helped to clear up some of your question and concern. If you've got more that you'd like to ask, go ahead and please send an email, and I will make sure that Drake gets it.
Well, also, can I ask Teri later on when you open up questions about the Russo? And I remember it was talking to you about it in the chat room. I'd like to talk to her later.
Yeah, of course. Tonight's subject, when we get finished with this, probably after a commercial, will be unalienable rights. And I have left plenty of time at the end of the show for questions and discussion, so you might have a chance to ask that question then.
Yeah, because I'm part of Russo, and I need to talk to you about that, and I need to tell my story.
Okay.
I think it needs to be done today. Okay?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to take one more caller for Drake, and then we're going to go on to Teri with Unalienable Rights. And let me see, where is our caller? Our caller is John, and John is from Oregon. And John, you are open. You can ask Drake your question.
Great. Thank you very much. First of all, profound gratitude to you, Drake. I think perhaps someday you and so many heroes of all this should have some kind of monument in your name when we're living in that beautiful world as you describe it. And my question is, I was listening to your interview with David Wilcock the other day, and pretty straightforward question. You were telling about how this filing has been done with The Hague, and you had one or more volunteers from each state to be named for that state. And then I heard you say, and I may be incorrect here, that this has been done for most of the states. And it was the word most that kind of concerned me. Are all the states covered? And I'm assuming it is, because the tone of it sounded like that, but I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Very simply, what we got was a majority in number of the states with a cushion, and that was the package that was sent to The Hague. We are still accepting, and there's a few states out there that have not done the paperwork as we have it, who need to, and
Drake,
as they do their paperwork, they will come in as territories pending completion of the system that we have found that works.
If you would like, Drake.
The country's basically covered, but and that was all that was required of us. But in the infinite wisdom of everybody should get on the bandwagon and everybody should partake in this, it was taken on ourselves to complete all 50 states. So hopefully that answers that question.
I'd like to add a little bit to that because this is appropriate. He specifically asked the question. And there's no problem. I mean, there's no reason I shouldn't give you this information. But there are a number of states where we had no contacts and no people working. I'm going to list those states right now. Those states need some help, okay? So all of you listening out there, if you are in one of these states and you want to step up and declare your state free and independent with the rest of us people across the country, send an email to the radio station, and we will connect you with the correct people. We need people. We need people in Alaska, Arkansas, Delaware, Iowa, Kentucky, North Dakota, Vermont, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. We also need help in the following states. We need 5 to 7 signers in each state: Alabama, Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Virginia. If you are in any of those states and you wish to step up and be counted, send us an email and we'll make sure you get connected with the right people.
Great. Thank you very much. You were saying those rather quickly. Maybe you could post them at your website somewhere, if that would be all right.
I'll send that list to Diatra, and they can figure out where they would like to put it.
Yes.
And then, okay, great. Thank you. Also, what I wanted to know is the original experiment that was done in Pennsylvania last year that you mentioned, Drake. Is there some place we could read about that story? Is it readily available on the internet somewhere or the website? Just to get some background on the legalities of it?
No, we are still trying to make an attempt, believe it or not, to some extent to be under the radar. Therefore, as we get to a point where we can let everybody know who did what to who and how it was done, more specifically, that will come available. That's the reason. One of the reasons for the website. It gives as much information, and as much information as can be safely put out has been. Now, there have been some people killed in this. The people that don't want their power to go down the tubes strenuously, to the point of death, object to it, period. They will do just about anything. And this is part of what happened to, or has happened to, our federal government. Some of the people involved in it don't like what's going on, and if they object, they have been told that they will get to watch their families be tortured to death in front of them before they get around to taking their life.
Right, but we should point out that those who gave their life for this effort were at a much higher level than we the people. There is no danger in standing up and with your people in your state. That was not at our level.
I hadn't got that for you yet.
Okay.
But quite honestly, what you do within your state in terms of the notification process, in terms of the manner in which it's done, it's just as safe as going to the grocery or something. There's nobody should be fearful of taking that step or standing up. That's not a problem. The problem comes if you become public, which we discourage for obvious reasons. Most people like their better health in one place and not scattered all over a room. So consequently, the idea is to not only keep people safe, but something Teri mentioned earlier, and this can't be stressed enough. This group is a conglomeration of a whole bunch of independent groups. Nobody in this group actually knows exactly who everybody is. Then to go along with it, when you don't have an organization, the icing on the cake of a leader, how can you lead something that you don't even know who it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So it lowers the target level considerably. The only thing we've got right now is freedomreigns.us that actually handles information. There's some information about some of us on there, as well as recordings of things like this show. So if you want to go back and listen, make sure you asked everything you wanted to, maybe show up on another show, you can have that opportunity. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Dietrich, can you give that email address of yours, please?
Are you there, Dietrich?
Or the email address to send if you want to help out with this campaign to whoever it is.
Did we lose Dietrich?
Good question.
I'm still here.
Sounds like it.
JoJo, let me check the board.
Okay.
And see.
Oh, JoJo, did you have any more questions real quick here? Because we should go to a break and then get into Teri Unalienable Rights.
The gentleman is asking for the email, for the email address, so that they can, the people out there can ask to step up and be involved.
Oh, that would be freedomreigns@gmail.com. Freedom Reigns, REIGNS, USA @gmail.com. And please make sure that you place in the subject line. Now, Teri, did you say this was for county project? I was screening the caller.
No, this is for nation states.
Okay, just put nation state in the subject line, and then I'll know where to direct it.
That is not the name of a group or a movement or anything like that. That's just an identifying nickname so that we know what your email is about.
Got it. Many thanks again.
All right, thank you. Okay. Goodbye.
One real quick question that was asked some time ago. There's a lot of questions in the chat room, but one was a guy concerned about the potential for a bait and switch, and what your potential reaction to that would be. I think that's what he's asking.
Bait and switch in terms of what exactly?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know. I didn't understand it either. I thought maybe y'all would know. That was
okay. Well,
there's a lot of different
in terms of subjugating the effort, in terms of a hijack or something of that nature, I have personally been involved with some people at very high level who have authenticated what we're doing. Now, by high level, I'm not going to say exactly what, but high enough level that if these people say jump and everybody does, it'll probably register as an earthquake, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. And one more quick question, maybe you can address it after we get back from break, is a lot of people are concerned about proof, all this proof. You've already kind of addressed it, but I wanted to make a suggestion. Maybe if someone was that concerned, maybe they could talk with somebody that maybe had already done the paperwork to maybe make them feel a little better about it or something like that. Would that be
Well, JoJo, I have personally done the paperwork. Drake has done it. Teri has done it. A lot of us within the Freedom Reigns movement have already done it, plus many, many others.
So that's what I was
pretty much any one of us can be contacted personally via the website.
Right, freedomreigns.us.
Freedomreigns.us is the website.
So if you're real concerned, contact them there, and maybe they can help your concerns out.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that people are probably not aware of is that I have been getting forwards, and I have personally addressed the individuals asking questions at times, depending on what it was. Most of the really important questions I feel have been answered, so I kind of backed out of that a little bit. Okay.
We got another person in the chat room, Paul T., who has also done the paperwork, so he would be able to speak with the person also that's concerned.
Good evening, everybody out there.
Yeah.
Tonight's